Welcome back to Lucore Automotive. When last we left the MKIII Supra 2JZ-GTE swap project, we had a little bit of pie on our face. We were sending off the turbos that had gone bad, that we had already sent off to get rebuilt. We're sending them off again. As you can see, I have a nice big box because said turbos have returned. It's time to open up the box, see what we've got again, and then put this car back together. Again. Stay tuned, here we go. So we've got Jeremy back with us, the owner of said Turbo Supra, and this is a little less than optimal. We tried to plan around not having to deal with this, but it is what it is.
Let's send the turbos out so they don't break right off the bat.
Yeah. This was not, we had initially sent these turbos off to get rebuilt. And then Derek's going to stand right in the middle of my camera.
I didn't realize you had a camera on.
We had initially sent these turbos off to get rebuilt to literally avoid exactly what we're running into right now. We wanted to make sure that we didn't introduce into the system anything that would have been bad, or put some turbos on a brand new setup that were going to be bad and then introduce more stuff into this thing.
Right.
So we had all of the good plans.
All the good plans.
Unfortunately, it seems as if, from what we have noticed and what Drift Motion noticed, that our plans didn't work out. And it looks like something was still in the oiling system that actually contaminated. Where am I being? You're in my video. Dave, come out here and stand in my video! We need to edit that. So, something we are thinking had been in the engine, and when we cycled the oil through it, it contaminated the bearings to the point where it wiped out essentially the entirety of the bearing setup on the rear turbo, and the front one was not in that great a shape either. So we now have brand new center sections in these turbos again. Now we can put the car back together again, and then you can have the car back.
I'd like that.
Again.
I'd like that.
And we can finish tuning.
I'd really like that. So I did get to drive it for a little while before it was making full power, and it was a ton of fun without even being full boost.
Yeah, kind of being lazy and not full boost.
Yeah. So I imagine that once it goes full hog, it's going to be even more fun.
So essentially what we had been noticing, if you haven't watched the previous video, was the boost was coming on kind of lazily, and it was coming on and then peaking real fast and dropping back off, and the car was really not happy in the higher revs. And essentially what had happened was the bearings in the rear turbo went completely kaput to the point where the rear turbo wasn't spinning, so it was trying to force feed all of it through one tiny little turbo, and that just doesn't work.
And that's how it goes.
Full house.
We got it. Got everybody in this video. So this should be our center section from the old turbo. The blades look, yeah, okay. Nothing real serious on there. Where we were worried about is on the shaft here itself. You can see these lines where it's been eating something, and it was no longer spinning. So there you go. There's $1,500 of mistake.
Yeah.
But now we have two brand new turbos. Yes.
And it's going to be better than ever.
Yes. You can turn that into like a necklace.
That can happen easily.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you got to figure they're spinning at like 80,000 RPM, so some piece of little material that gets stuck right there, spin at 80,000 RPMs. Thank you, Aaron, for sending us these back.
Thank you, Aaron.
So one thing we're making this video about, and I will be honest that this is definitely still part of that pie in the face process, is we're trying to be very honest about how this process goes. We don't want to be, you know, your typical TV show garage where everything goes according to plan and everything gets done. We got 2 days to get it done. Let's get 17 guys on it.
And all the mishaps are planned.
Right. No, this is definitely a you got to be kidding me moment that we really didn't plan on. That you'd be able to out enjoy your car for the last 2.5, 3 months.
Right.
Instead, we're taking the car back apart again. So this is most definitely not planned.
We live in Ohio, so the days where we can go out and drive and have some fun are disappearing quickly. Same thing there.
Yeah, same thing. You can see where it's essentially ridden the same thing. I mean, the vanes all look good. Everything looks fine on that, but it's just the.
Is this normally supposed to go that much heat?
Probably not. So I guess the learning moment here is, in our situation, fortunately we're in shop, and we can take this car apart pretty quick, and we can put it back together pretty quick. We can put it outside when we're not working on it. If you were to have to deal with this at home, and this has been something you did in your garage in your house, I don't even want to imagine what the nightmare this would have just created you is. I mean, you've got to take the whole car apart, and then it sits there completely torn apart. If you're lucky, you have a garage space to do it in. If you're not lucky, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a pain in the neck for us, and it's a gigantic waste of 20 hours. But in our world, we can get this done pretty quickly, and this car could be back up and running next week. Versus
at my house, that would have never gotten done.
Right.
Which is why you guys have the car in the first place.
Right. So it is what it is. There you go. You got 2 dumbbells that are really expensive.
Yep.
I can see you getting buffer already.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very expensive gym membership.
All right. Now we can bring this car back in, start taking it apart, get the new turbos put on, and put it back together again.
Even better than before.
Yes. We will make it better. Initially, we had planned on incorporating the next video, which is actually the reassembly of the Supra, into the same video, but I want to cut this short and end this here with a very, very large thank you to Aaron and the team of Drift Motion. We've said it in a lot of other videos before that we would never be able to do the things that we do, be able to work on the projects we work on and create the cool things that we get to create if it weren't for really seriously quality business partners of our own. Drift Motion is in California on the other side of the country from us, and they have been absolutely fantastic as far as purchasing things from and supporting the products once we purchase them from them. We had initially sent out this set of turbos to be able to essentially skip this process because we didn't want to have old turbos that we didn't know, that we didn't trust on this car, fired up, introduce something into the oiling system that's going to be a problem, or heaven forbid we fire it up and the turbos are bad or they're leaking or whatever. So we had initially sent those off to Aaron at Drift Motion, and they had done the whole process and sent it back. And then after we did run the car, and we realized we had some problems where we had introduced some stuff into the oil that had taken out that rear turbo. He was amazing as far as support. He said, hey, you know what? That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. We'll try our best to take care of you. Let me see what I can do. Send me the turbos back. So we took those turbos off the exhaust housing and sent the turbos out. In a couple of days, they had them out there. They took them apart, verified exactly what had happened. As you saw in this video, had brand new center sections made. The brand new VSR turbos that are rebalanced, packaged them back up, sent them back to us so we could continue moving forward on our job. And they took care of us on the pricing. Yeah, our screw up, not theirs, so we did have to pay some of that. But they were fantastic about supporting it, and I just want to say one more time, thank you very much to Aaron and your entire team at Drift Motion. You guys were awesome. Now, with that said, very shortly following this video, you will be seeing the actual reassembly video of that Supra. getting those turbos mounted on the exhaust manifold, getting all that stuff done, putting the car back together again, so we can get it off to the dyno and get this thing finally running correctly. So stay tuned if you're interested in 2JZ Mark III Supra swaps, sexy 2J sounds and dyno videos, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of fun stuff to come in the next year. So please do click on that subscribe button, drop us a comment in the comment section below if you're interested, and click on that like button if you like this. We'll see you on the next video. It's coming soon. Stay tuned.